I don't want to see husband's family side temporarily because of Mill. Hello. Just need some advice. I was used to it until I wasn't. This is not the only scenario and I have always been forgiving, don't know how to get mad, but I think I've had enough. I recently booked a vacation for my husband and I. Last minute, I thought of bringing Mill because she's getting old and wanted to give her great memories with her son. However, during the vacation, she was very difficult and made so many inappropriate and unnecessary comments. There was one time that we went out to eat, and we're probably both hangry. I asked her what she would like to eat, and I don't remember exactly what she said, but she was starting to be rude. I let it slide, and spoke to my husband about it. My husband just told me that that's how she is with everyone. And it's honestly always been like that since my husband and I got married, 6 years. While eating, we were talking about something and the conversation made us fight. I don't remember exactly the trigger, but she started saying stuff towards me I'm spoiled too much, which I agree, and she said other inappropriate/disrespectful things towards me. We were in public and we're both raising our voices. I was embarrassed and hurt at the same time. I walked out crying that day. We both didn't apologize and she seemed proud, making me cry. Fast forward, during the vacation she still makes little side comments that sometimes hurtful but expects me to just be okay with it. FYI, during the vacation, I took care of her like I was her personal caregiver. Even helped her shower, and clean up after pooping. No complaints, but it was just exhausting doing everything and still getting nasty comments sometimes. I think she was jealous when my husband and I gets free time, and since I took care of her and she dealt with me most of the time, I noticed that she gets irritated/annoyed at me. Fast forward again, we got back and now I don't want to go with my husband when he visits his mom and other family members. I feel like these people will just make me feel bad about myself, that's why I'm trying to avoid them. It's creating issues in our marriage, and I want to know if I'm just being dramatic. Mill has always been like that and husband never say anything, but instead he tells me that that's how they grew up with their mom, being mean towards them. Requesting for inputs. I feel hurt that my husband gets upset when I decline to visit his family despite explaining the reason why. They don't make me feel good and it's affecting my mental health. Comment. Ugh. I'm sorry, but if I spend an extended period of time with my in-laws, I need a break after. And that's when the visit is drama-free. Perfectly normal to just say, honey, I just spent a lot of time with Mill, it's your time to spend with her now. I'll go with you at a later date, but not right now. Also perfectly okay to have boundaries and tell him that if her behavior is fine with him, he can visit her, but it is not fine with you. Just stop. It's that easy. You are going above and beyond for this woman in a way that her son doesn't. He should be the one bathing her and cleaning her up after she poops, that's his mother. He should feel responsible for doing those things and actually do it, and if you wish to lend a hand then fine, but it shouldn't be the norm nor expected that you take this on by yourself. And why do you need to think of making memories for a grown man and his grown mother? Did either of them request this? As nice as you are being, you are the problem here. You have placed all of these things on your own shoulders, and for what? You don't have to do any of these things. Just because someone is just an asshole to everyone doesn't mean you have to allow them to be an asshole to you. Do you want your children to grow up thinking it's normal for them to be treated that way by the people they love? No. Of course not. Do not accept treatment from others that you wouldn't be okay with your kids experiencing, too. Honestly, just tell your husband that he can visit Mill as he'd like, but you're no longer going to go because you don't deserve to be treated like that. You have learned a very important lesson. Do not invite her anywhere. She is rude, selfish, and has no accountability. I hate when told that's the way she is. My husband's family say this about Mill. Well, she's that way because they allowed her to act selfish, rude, and entitled without ever setting boundaries. There is no reason for you to maintain a relationship with someone who affects your mental health. I decided after about 12 years that was it. Now, I was fortunate to live about 8 hours away so I could easily be VLC. But when my oldest was about 7, I was done with her rudeness and entitlement. The thing that actually pushed me over the top was her favoring the oldest over the youngest. I was never going to let that happen. Thankfully my DH doesn't like her much more than I do, so it was pretty easy. Now she's a bitter old woman who's alienated her entire family with 4 adult grandchildren who want nothing to do with her and 3 great-grandchildren, 2, my grandchildren, of whom she'll never meet. My DH calls once a month or so, he feels some obligation as he's the only immediate family member left. Your Mill seems quite elderly to need the help you described. What is the long-term plan for her care? Is she already in assisted living or with a family member? I ask because you showed you're willing to do it. Is there any chance DH and his family would expect more of this from you, that she will come live with you? You are a way better person than I am. I have wiped my 90-year-old mom's bum off many times, but I assure you that if she treated me badly I wouldn't do that. She's in memory care now, but I still do it when I'm there if she has to go to the bathroom, because it can take a while for the aides to come and help when she's on the toilet. It's a big ask to expect help with personal hygiene like that. I suggest you inform your DH that you are no longer helping with this ever. Couples therapy was really helpful as aiding my so realize what I had been trying to say, but he's immediately get defensive about when I'd say it. The therapist was excellent in opening both our eyes in that I was unfortunately blaming him for his parents' actions and he wasn't hearing what I was saying without it turning into a fight. It facilitated conversations and made us both aware of each other's feelings with a better compromise and future for conversations. Let's see if I understand. You are the one wiping her ass, but you are spoiled too much. Right, because she's the queen. We should all be so fortunate as to get to wipe her ass for her. You lucky woman. Seriously, this bitch sounds exactly like my narcissistic abusive mother. I'll let you wipe my ass. Clearly, she's spoiling you by letting you have the honor. If she ever wants help again, her son can have that honor. She is deliberately testing your limits. If you are dumb enough to wipe her ass ever again, then she will have learned that she can be as nasty to you as she wants and you will just take her abuse. It will get worse and worse the more that you reward her bad behavior. I am glad that you set this boundary with your husband. Had you not learned your lesson, you would have been setting things up for the abuse to rain down on you forever. Narcissists only get worse with age. I pray that you have the good sense to never invite that nasty bitch to anything ever again. She will be looking to re-establish dominance over you as soon as possible. You can take that as my personal guarantee. Personally, I would insist that my husband reads through every single reply to your post. So hubby, just so I understand you clearly. Do you want me to allow your mother to abuse me? Why? Do you think that I deserve to be abused? Is that what you want for me? Why do you want me to be abused? Because abusing me makes your mother happy. You care more about her being happy than you do about me being abused. If you are married to a man who wants you to be abused for any reason, then clearly you are married to the wrong man. Good luck op Google mother-son enmeshment. Next story 2. This is about my Mill. I recall being 4 months postpartum and sh*t on by people close to me who claim to be my family simply because I take my job as a mom seriously and am not willing to unnecessarily pawn him off on others. These morons are not medical professionals and tried to diagnose me with postpartum depression/anxiety and even went as far as to threaten to not see my son until I got mental help. I was forced to go to the doctor where I was not diagnosed with anything other than being a good mom. My doctor recommended I take space away from these people, and don't leave my son if I don't have to. She also noted if these people can't respect my rules for my son, then I don't have to leave him with them or anyone for that matter. They even went a step further and said they're sorry my son was born, all because I wouldn't make up a reason to drop him off at their house because they wanted to be alone with him. They actually started hounding us to leave him alone with them when he was only weeks old. I exclusively breastfeed him, so this wasn't something I was willing to do. I never got what their obsession with being alone with him was. They would want us to leave if we came to visit so they could be alone with him. In fact, I still don't leave my son alone with anyone unless I absolutely have to. I'm mostly a stay-at-home mom, so I feel it's my job. The first year of his life, I believe it's really important for new babies to spend as much time with their primary caregiver as possible. I am blessed to have the opportunity to stay home with my son and I don't take it for granted. These same people are unwilling to come visit him but like to say that they never get to see him. They expect us to bring him to them every time. The one time they did come see him, they threw a fit and refused to come in the house. They stayed for less than 5 minutes in our driveway. This makes me sad for my son. They only want to be something to him on their terms. I have lots of screenshots of texts from these people saying terrible things about me and trying to tear my family apart. Sometimes it would be nice for others to read these so my feelings can be validated as to why I want to stay as distant from them as I can. I haven't got a lot of validation in all of this, because these are the type of people who never own up to things when they are wrong. I will never get an apology or any acknowledgement from them that I didn't deserve to be treated the way they treated me. In fact, they just pretend I'm the bad guy. I have lots of reason why I dislike them, but the only reason they have for disliking me is because they believed I had postpartum anxiety. This is the first time I've said anything, while they've had so many chances to say so much about me behind my back. I've learned that saying nothing is saying something, but this eats away at me every day. These people tricked me into thinking they were good people, so this behavior felt like a betrayal to me. I have learned they are only good people if they are getting their way. While trying to navigate becoming a new mom and my world changing, I was dealing with people close to me attacking my mental health and trying to tear my family apart simply because they couldn't have control over me or my son. This leaves me wondering, what if I did have postpartum depression/anxiety? I think that might make their behavior so much worse. To say terrible things about a new mom. To say they're sorry my son was born to a mom like me. To tell my spouse to only take care of himself and the new baby. It's honestly a shame that anyone would say those things about a new mom who is giving her all to her new son. I'm not sure if anyone else has gone through this. It's really hard for me to navigate. These people are important people in my son's life, but I'm not sure how to move on from this when they won't acknowledge their behavior and just pretend their very damaging words were never spoken. I've been waiting months for an apology and an adult conversation about everything that was said, but this hasn't happened and I need some sort of closure. This post is a start for closure for myself. Comment. It is creepy and weird to me that they want to be alone with your child. Personally, I will never leave my child alone with someone who is insistent that they be alone with my child. I have PPA/PPD and that is not what is causing you to be hesitant with these people. You are hesitant because you are a mother who can sense when someone does not have good intent. Tell your husband to grow up and take care of his family, you and baby, instead of worrying about what mommy thinks. He needs to put up boundaries and support your needs over doing what is easiest. You have been told to stay away from them, DRS orders, always listen to your doctor when it comes to your health, your husband has to as well. How your so deals with his parents is up to him, but really no one can override DRS orders. Just like JNS don't have a right to put their expectations on you, you can't put your expectations on them. Even though you're owed an apology, it's unlikely that you'll get one. If they were the type of people to give you an honest apology, they wouldn't be treating you the way that they treat you. You need to figure out what you can/want to put up with, to protect your mental health, and then stay true to yourself. You are not putting your husband in the middle. He is. When you married, you became one. Whatever is done to one of you is done to both of you. Unfortunately, because of the way he is raised, this is probably normal to him and doesn't affect him the way it affects you. He needs therapy. If he chooses not to go, the least he can do is support you not having contact with these people, and not letting them speak badly about you. He can have a relationship with them if he wants, but when they speak badly about you he should leave/hang up the phone/show them the door. And by the way, even though I am someone who doesn't believe in divorce the minute that things go south, just remember this, your children deserve to have a parent who is mentally healthy. Do what you need to do for your mental health, and thereby your children's mental health. Good luck. You aren't getting an apology, so let's start there. If someone wants to see your kid they can go to your house. Yes, time apart would be good if your relationship with these people is that toxic. That being said, being a new mom is extremely stressful and no one can understand that unless you've gone through it. Some sort of therapy might help with processing these emotions. There's clearly something deeper like some sort of suffering going on. You don't deserve to live with this sort of pressure on yourself. Good luck. Reading your issues with your spouse, I called him a pussy as well. I could never be with someone that I thought of like that. Been there and emotionally withdrew because what's attractive about someone who can't handle confrontation and isn't man enough to be your partner? You've got as much of a husband problem as you do an in-law problem. Since you're a stay-at-home mom, make sure you have financial security of some sort. Your husband isn't a safe space for you. He tunes you out and wants to go along with what mommy and daddy wants. I'd stop venting to him and ignore the in-laws. Don't make them your problem. Seek out therapy and building a foundation for exit, should you need it.